I pretty much took to moving in with my grandmother. And that was my role model. She's honest, considerate, caring, loving type individual, but she didn't let anybody screw her over. She wasn't going to allow that. And that's what I loved about my grandmother and my grandfather, because they were two really great people. But at the same time, they're just like, hey, we're not going to have that in our house. But my dad, he was really, really a wonderful person. He divorced my mom, and he decided that, hey, I'm not going to keep paying to get these kids out of jail. They're making the mistakes. Let them sit in jail. I'm going to go on with my life, and I'm going to make something out of my life and do what I need to do as an individual. So that's the reason I look up to my father, because he left, he saved himself, and he became a stronger person. But at the same time, when his children needed to change within themselves and not do such bad things, then he was around to help them and mold them, try to mold them into decent individuals. But their mindset was, you know, why work for it? I could just take it. You know, I can just go out here and rob somebody. I won't have to work for 8 hours. I can just walk off with something in 1 hour and have what I want in my pocket. You know, I have really suffered at the hands of Del P. Reisner. And I understand, because if you look at a report, I'm the first patient who ever complained about her. Her record was clean for 30 years, and here I am, the first patient who ever complained about the service. I mean, in 1999, May the 19th, I met this woman. I had a breech birth, which meant the baby came out feet first. It was dead. The cord was wrapped around its neck. At 1:05, the baby came out. She comes to my room about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning after I just lost a child, and she tells me I have to leave at 11 o'clock the same day. Basically, CPS ignores this fact that this is the reason why this doctor started this with me, because I came back to her in 2002 because she told me that there was a special operation I needed in order to carry a baby to term, which was this operation called a Saclash operation. And I came back for the operation, and after that, she just kept badgering me. She goes, oh, you were depressed in 1984, and why? And I told her. And, you know, the funny part was, in 2002, my mom's friends, I mean, they're pretty old now, they died waiting to come to court in 2003. You know, 2004, you know, it's like, hey, they're dying because they're old. They're just waiting. I only have one good friend left, and she's 89 years old, for heaven's sakes. And CPS, it's been dragging on now for 6 years. She was 82, 81 when this case got going. Now she's like 89. She's just waiting to come to court. And CPS will not acknowledge her. They won't acknowledge all the people that I have lined up for court that are willing to come and testify to verify my life. I feel like such a freaking criminal. I mean, golly, I've only had one traffic ticket in my whole life, and I feel like such like a criminal. I feel like, why do these people think I'm crazy? Because I'm not doing what my family members do? You know, because I don't want to go to jail because I'm not committing crimes. Is that why they think I'm crazy? Or do they think I'm crazy because I've been through so much hell in my past? And they think that I should be locked up in some loony bin or something because of what I've been through. Well, let me tell you something. They've made my future complete crap. I mean, you know, being a mother should have been the happiest day in my life, because this is the way I looked at it. I had my daughter, her name's Lola Rain. I had her because I love her. I had her because I wanted someone to share my life with. I wanted to be able to watch my child grow up each and every day. I wanted to be able to take her to school every day, someone to wake up with in the morning, somebody to go to bed with at night, because, you know, she'd be going to bed, tuck her in, you know, and I really wanted to just be a parent and watch my children grow up. And it's like they've just snapped all the joy out of it. You know, you sign for one kid, that means you're going to be harassed for every child you have thereafter. I just don't want anybody to suffer like I've suffered. So whoever out there, if you're going to have children and you have some doctor who's trying to force you to take tests that are high risk, because all the tests this doctor threw at me was high risk. And I said, I'm not going to do it. And if a doctor introduces you to a CPS worker, do me a favor, call a nurse and get them the hell out of your room. And if they walk off with your child, do not, repeat, do not sign anything. If you have your witnesses lined up, they know that they're going to lose. They know it, and they'll put the court date off over and over and over and over, just like they did to me. And then when you sign that piece of paper to get your child back, that's bonus money in the social worker's pocket. I want you to know that. See, that's the reason they take your children away, because whatever the taxpayers pay into, it's money that's there, but they can just dip into it, and it's going to be a nice fat bonus added into their check. So I don't want anybody out there to suffer like I have, because you know what? This doctor has ruined my life thus far. My daughter's going to be 7 years old in December, and she has ruined every single day. Why? Because every time I move, I got these suckers knocking on my door. And that's the worst thing in the world, when you have somebody you don't know in your house, and then they got somebody to tell you what to do, and then they say, oh, come to court. And you have to go to meetings, and you have to see psychologists, and you have to see therapists. And I'm just like, wow, my parents were the ones that died back in 1984, not your parents. I'm over it. I know they're in heaven. I know they're with God. I'm over it. You know, I took the point of leaving town whenever my mother's birthday would occur or my grandmother's birthday would occur. I took the point of leaving town and, you know, trying to get over it in my own way. I tried getting over it at the mental health center. The only thing they know how to do, like that new movie with Nicole Kidman, they had the movie called Invasion of the Body Snatcher. Okay, if you look at a portion of that movie, this woman is talking about all the problems she's having, all the stressors she's having in life. And the only thing Nicole Kidman is doing is writing down this and that and barely listening. And at the end, she says, oh, just take a couple extra pills at night. That's the only thing they know how to do is pill push. You know why these doctors push pills? Because they're making a profit off of it. They're making money from the pill company, and then they're giving you health problems along with it. That's what they're doing. They're giving you health problems, and then you have to take another pill for this and another pill for that. And the next thing you know, you're in your grave early. You're going to die. And the thing is, they want a release of information for each and everything you do. That means they want to dip into your personal business. They want to know what's going on. They want to know who you're talking to, what you're talking about, and they want to have access to your psychologist and your therapist. Let me tell you something. When I saw my therapist and my psychologist, the only thing they could do was say to me, why don't we increase your medication? I said, I didn't ask you for an increase. Why you keep trying to increase my medication? Well, I think it would be good if you do that. And then I mentioned a couple key words, and all of a sudden, let me tell you something. Down at the community center where I used to go, and I was pretty much pushed into going because I had no intentions of going. I mean, I had other plans. But how can you go to school, see a therapist, see a psychologist, and then have CPS drop by your house? Tell me, how can you do that? Anybody who wants to do something with their life, if you have people constantly trying to tell you what to do with your time, then it becomes consumed, you know? And it's like when you look at Aerosmith, and I love Aerosmith, okay, dearly. But what if somebody jumped into their lives and tried to tell them how to be parents and then tell them to go see a therapist and a psychologist, and you're on a tour around the world doing your jams? But I don't see anybody trying to walk off with Steven Tyler's children when they were growing up, and he was doing what? Snorting coke?